Musicians Institute Guitarcraft Program, sponsor of Fox 17 Rock and Review.
Rock and Review with my special guest, Grant Maloy Smith. You probably know him from his critically acclaimed album that came out last year, Dust Bowl, and he's had other great albums in the past as well, but you've really gotten a lot of notice for this one, Grant.
Yeah, this one I finally broke through the basement and got up to the ground level, about 3 inches off the ground in the music business.
I think you've gotten farther than that because I've seen all the great reviews from the magazines and you know, TV, radio, everything. It's like, and the album is just amazing. Right there's the cover of it. And I want to make sure our viewers know, Grant, that this is like a theme album.
Right.
And why did you decide to do this on the Dust Bowl?
You know what's funny? One day I was just writing a song, like we all write. You write songs, I write songs. And I just happened to write something that sounded like it should be about a drought. But then, you know, because I come up with all kinds of crazy ideas. But I thought that's the dumbest idea I ever had. Because no one wants to hear a song about a drought. But, you know, I couldn't shake it. And just the way the words went with the melody and with the music behind it, I thought, this sounds like a 1930s, 40s drought. I have to make it work. And then a little light bulb went off above my cowboy hat. And I remembered 3 things about the Dust Bowl from school, you know, a million years ago. So I went on the internet and I started reading about the Dust Bowl, and 7 hours later, I said, the entire record's going to be about the Dust Bowl, not just one song. I'm going to do the whole thing and put it in that world, because there's so many great stories of, you know, struggle and resilience and people coming back and people being displaced in their own country, and so many stories and it's a great backdrop.
Well, you know what, and you've got so many great songs, and obviously I've been listening to the album a lot, but, you know, also, you know, you've kind of got patriotic song in I Come From America also, and you've even got a song for Native Americans as well in here.
Right.
And so you're kind of covering the whole genre, and the music style to me, granted, you know, Americana roots, but it kind of does have that, you know, I could hear it easily playing on, you know, the Grand Ole Opry back then.
Right. I was trying to get an old-fashioned kind of a feel, because it's, you know, it's 1930s time frame was when the Dust Bowl happened. So even though it's modern and it's done now, I still wanted to bring back that kind of old vibe.
Well, you pulled in some of the top musicians in the country.
Yeah.
You know, when you pull out the liner in here in the album, and it's so well done. I love all the images from the Dust Bowl and the front and everything here. But, you know, you've got, you know, pictures of all the artists, all the players inside, and then the full lyrics. So they're making, like the old vinyl days, everybody can sing along.
Exactly. I love the old records when I used to lie in my bed and open up the big giant record and read all the pictures, look at all the pictures, read all the notes, read them 100 times.
Right.
And just listen to the album a million times, like you do when you're a kid, and like we used to do when you were a kid. And I just wanted to kind of bring that back. In addition, the artists that played on the record, they deserve to have their pictures shown, and that's what I don't like about some of the online things, is you see the name and you see the cover, and that's about all the information you can get.
You know, and that's my problem with a lot of the singles and individual songs, to where, you know, I like to know the artist, I like to know the band.
Right.
You know, plus you got a really cool logo with guitars around it in your cowboy hat. I kind of like that too, Grant.
That's me. Cowboy hat, guitar.
You know, and you brought your Taylor, you know, from the 300 series that you played to open the show, but also you brought your Rickenbacker from the 1930s that we've got here. If we can show a picture, look at that. That is gorgeous.
Isn't that amazing? I found that in a secondhand store up in New England, and the guy who owned the store didn't even know what it was. He said, it looks like, I can't tell if it's a paddle for a canoe or if it's some kind of crazy guitar.
And your line was, I'll take it.
I'll take it. I'll take 2 if you got it. He only had 1.
So did you use this one on the album also?
I used it, yeah. There's a song, Old Black Roller, on the record.
I love that song.
And it's on the record twice. There's a kind of a very complex version that starts off the record, and then we did the whole song again. It's kind of like a Southern rock version.
I like the Southern rock version, obviously.
And that's the way we play it when we play it live.
That's
the fun way to play it.
And so you
that's
used
what
that
I used on
Rickenbacker
that.
lap steel for that.
I did, yeah.
Wow.
I didn't play, now, the lap steel you hear that's doing the lead, that's Rob Eitz. That's not, that's his own.
And you're going to be doing some more shows with Rob, because I was going to bring up for our viewers too, you know, you've played like all over the country. I mean, you know, in the UK and all over the United States. You've opened for a lot of huge musicians.
Yeah.
And now you're kind of the headliner too.
Well, sometimes. Usually when I'm the headliner, there's 11 people in the audience, but it's okay. It can be 100, it could be 500, it can be 12. You never know.
Well, now, I think it's a great album. I'll tell you what, I just kept listening to it because I think it's one of those things, I know you recorded some of the songs here also on a Grant, but,
sure
you could really hear the separation of the instruments in the recording.
That's what I like.
And so I can really tell. And then I want to know who is that player. And so then I have to go to the booklet.
Go see, on each song, you can see who did exactly what.
But I mean, the mix is just amazing.
That was done. That's my co-producer, Jeff Silverman. He's over in Mount Juliet, not too far from here.
Yeah.
We produced basically, the basic tracks were done in New York about a year before Jeff got involved. That year, to 2016, Cyndi Lauper put out a country record.
I remember.
And a friend of mine had a studio, and he's a good friend with her musical director, and they arranged for her band to do the basic tracks. Wow. So you'll see Bill Whitman and Scooter Warner and people like that doing the basic tracks on many of the songs.
Gifted
Not all
musicians.
of them. They're fantastic, and so we cut all the basic tracks there in New York. But then we came here because I needed to get people like Jeff Taylor and Mike Johnson and Rob Ikes and
they all live here.
And Matt Burgess and so many great people. Here they are. They live right here in town.
Yeah. Wow, that's incredible. Well, I wanted to bring up also, Grant, to where you're already working on singles for your next album that might come out either this fall or next year.
Right.
And so how's that coming together?
Great. We just cut 3 tracks 2 weeks ago, just not too far down near Music Road at Omni Sound. We're going to finish them up in Texas next month, down in Fort Worth.
Awesome. At
the producer's studio, and then I'll cut some more. I think I'll probably release singles throughout the year, and then eventually collect enough to have either an EP or an album sometime, either, like you said, either later in the year or early next year.
Now, where's the best place, Grant, for our viewers to find you, on the web and your social media and everything like that?
Probably the best place to go, the clearinghouse, would be my website, because from there you can go anywhere. You can look at all my social media links. You can find where to buy the record. You could also order it right there from me, and I'll sign it and send it to you.
Even better.
My website is just my 3 names. Smith is so boring, I've used my middle name too. So it's Grant Maloy, Maloy-Smith.com. So if you go grant-maloy-smith.com, you'll get there, and then you can go to everywhere else about me.
All your social and everything, and that'll keep Fred happy also. We got to keep Fred happy. And I wanted to bring it too for our viewers, and I'm kind of a history nut anyway, and this thing, charting in the Billboard top 10 in the Americana folk area is incredible, but I really like it that you went with a theme, and the Dust Bowl is something, a lot of, people may not think about or know about, but historically very significant in the U.S.
Very powerful stuff, and like you said, a lot of people today don't know about it. Even when I thought of doing it, I had to go research, because I learned one day in junior high school in 1975.
I think we all did, and you had to make sure you weren't sleeping or something, nodding off that day.
I might have even been absent that day. I was playing hooky, probably trying to buy a guitar somewhere, but once I delved into it, I realized it had so many ramifications to our culture. It was, maybe for people that don't know, it was the biggest environmental disaster that we ever had.
Right.
It didn't rain in the American Southwest for nearly a decade. You can imagine such a thing. 15% of the population of Oklahoma left, looking for work elsewhere.
Right.
Many of them ended up in California Central Valley, like Bakersfield, famously known for that. If you read The Grapes of Wrath, that story kind of picks up as they were going out there and what happened afterwards. So you have many stories, the environmental problems, the economic problems. It's also the decade of the Great Depression, just to make it even more fun.
Yeah.
So you have people literally abandon everything they owned, because even the bank didn't have any money. They would just say, just walk away, take whatever you can put on your back and go somewhere else.
So let me ask you this, then the next album that you do, Grant, do you think it's going to be a theme one also, or are you going to deviate?
I'm not sure yet. I have 2 thoughts about that. I might do 2 albums kind of contemporaneously. That's a big word for a guy from Lower Alabama. But
or LA, as we call it
LA,
here.
the other LA, the one with better beaches and less traffic.
There you go.
Except during some weeks. But anyway, I might do 2 records, because the songs I just cut are not really thematic, and they're kind of more up to date. But I really want to go back and make an Appalachia record.
Oh my gosh!
Because that's my family roots are from Eastern Kentucky. I play there. That's where I'm going.
And your wife's from Perryville.
Right? It's Ozark
close to
record.
my neck of the woods, you know?
Exactly. Maybe that's my next record will be an Ozark record. But
There we go.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's such a great album. Grant Maloy Smith, pick up a copy, Dust Bowl, or download it, and be sure and catch him on the road, too. He's going to be touring all over the United States and, opening shows for other artists, but also headlining. And I think you're going to be impressed with this album, the depth of the musicianship and the lyrics, and I like the whole theme, Grant.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that, man. Thanks so much, and great to meet you. Great to be on your show.
Grant Maloy, Dust Bowl. Rock and Review. Thanks for watching.
Musicians Institute Guitarcraft Program, sponsor of Fox 17 Rock and Review.